everybody, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about May goals. So I am in my Cultivate What Matters goal planner, and we're just going to go right to, we're actually going to go to April. So I just want to show you how my April is, how it's going actually. So I haven't done my review because we are still looking at the 23rd. So we've got one more full week of April to go. And this is kind of what I look like right now. So of course my days are still like not crossed off because we're going day by day. But as for my monthly tasks and my weekly tasks, I'm doing pretty good. First glance at this, the only place I have super room for improvement is getting to my sticker design. So that is number one because I have not focused on that all month long so far, and I think even for the last half of March as well. Part of that is due to scheduling. So every Wednesday we usually have our appointment, not every Wednesday, but Wednesdays we usually have our appointments for our baby to take him to the doctor. And so unfortunately I have my stickers scheduled on that day. So what I was thinking is potentially moving that sticker creation day to a different day, but right now I've got everything planned and going on, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to look like or work. I'm kind of happy with the way everything else is going. The only main thing I have to do is I have to do my Franklin setup for the month of May, and that will be switching my binder, switching my covers, and I've got some new things coming. One being from Jane's agenda, and so I was thinking how I could incorporate some of those items into my new planner, and I kind of want those to match with my new binder. So I haven't decided what to do yet, but I will be switching it up from been using lots of Planners Anonymous papers and stuff in my planner, so I'm going to switch it up and maybe use some Jane's agenda stuff and perhaps sterling ink. I haven't quite decided. The other thing we have going on is a doctor's appointment for my son next week, and then potentially going to the dentist. I haven't got a call back. I did leave him a message, but they never called me back. But everything else has been such a good thing. I think the biggest thing I focused on this month was our Swedish death cleaning the basement, the yard cleanup, the cars, the garage, and also my health, because I was setting up my Melody planners to really focus on making sure I took my medication, drinking my water, doing all those type of things. I think I did really, really well. I did actually finish the basement with my friend Tressa. 2 or 3 days, it was 3 days, but she had to leave early one day. So we finished everything. I'm probably going to go through again for the month of May just to see if I can whittle my stuff down a little bit more. But we did so good. I got rid of so much, took so much to Goodwill. I ended up doing my son's room as well, and that was something I was dreading. So I got that done. We cleaned up the yard so it's prepped and ready for planting. We just have to do the rototilling, but we'll be planting for May as well. So all of this stuff, like I'm getting into a good routine with my health planner, and I just feel so much better. Kind of like the whole spring cleaning vibe. It just makes you feel so good once you have finished everything. So I think April has gone really, really well. Now moving on to May. So like I usually do, I always start with this calendar. So what I like to do is kind of place the things I know that are going to happen on certain days so that I can kind of plan my month around it. So for instance, I've got immunizations for my son on the 5th. My son has no school for a couple of days following May Long Weekend. May Long Weekend is generally when we start planting, like right before or right after. But we plan on going to Red Deer. We just have to let my son's grandpa know that that's our plan. My daughter has her birthday on Monday. It's the 1st, May 1st, but we're going to have her party on the Sunday, the day before. And yeah, so really not like anything going on specifically. We don't even have an appointment for my son this month, which is kind of nice. So I'm really going to try focusing on my stickers. It's going to be a big one for this month. So if I go back to the Prepare Well page, the important to-dos is buying the flowers and planting. So that's like one of my main things. Also, my son's immunizations and packing list for Red Deer. I actually didn't put on here, and I probably should. I would like to continue with kind of like the Swedish death cleaning process. So important to-dos, it is, and I do have that on my mind, but I want to go over basement again. So I don't know if this is something that I'll do prior to May. Like I might still end up doing some of it this like last week of April, but it's important. Like once you get into the mindset of decluttering, minimizing, getting rid of your stuff, it becomes easier and easier. So there are things that maybe 5 years ago you might have held on to, and now you're just like, you know what, let it go. I don't need it. Like it's been in my basement in the container for how long? I've never used it in 5 years. What do I have it for? And so that was kind of the mindset I was in, and I got rid of so much. There's a few things I'm selling. Now that my son is born, we know we're not having any more kids, so I'm not holding on to any of the baby clothes. Everything that my kids grow out of is essentially gone. So as soon as they grow out of it, I take it to Goodwill, and I don't wait. I don't keep boxes stacked in my house or in my basement. As soon as I know it's going to go, I'll take it that day, because I'm done. Like I've never been a hoarder, but I'm done holding on to stuff that I don't need anymore. So I cleaned my desk area. I've cleaned my bookshelf. I've cleaned my son's room. I went through both of my kids' clothes. I still want to go through my closet clothes. So I'm excited for taking weekends off from work and enjoying time with my family. So that is another goal. So for me, because I have 3 kids and a baby, sometimes it's really, really hard to schedule properly. Like the mornings are usually my time to work. So I get up at 4:30, feed my baby, and then I work from 5 to 7:30 until my kids wake up and my son goes to school. But lately I've been letting my baby sleep, and then I wake him up at 7. So if I get up at 5, I work from 5 to 7. I go feed him at 7 and then get my kids up. So I only have 2 hours to work in the morning, and sometimes it's hit or miss because my baby will wake up and things won't always go according to plan, or my other kids will wake up or something will happen. So as far as filming videos goes, I really have to play it by ear. And like today is Sunday, I'm filming this video because it's like one of the most quiet times I've had all day. So I really have to play things by ear. And ideally, I would like to work Monday to Friday and have weekends off, because my husband is working in town now and he has weekends off. And so it's just nice to be able to spend our time together as a family and hang out instead of always being at my desk and working. I don't really consider my morning planning time work. That's just something I do every morning just to kind of stabilize my day and figure out what's going on. But for the most part, for videos like this, I would prefer to be able to do it during the weekday, in the morning. I usually do that with my budget video and my plan with me. But if there's videos like haul videos and stuff that come up, I really have to just kind of just do it whenever I can make time. But that will also be a goal for this month and probably continuing into summer, because I love enjoying my summer days outside, and I want to do a lot of barbecues. I want to do a lot of like sitting in the sun and just relaxing and just having fun. So that's what I would like to do. So on my mind, Goodwill drop off. At first, you know, guys, it was super, super hard for me to focus on letting stuff go and giving it away for free. So it's really hard to get out of the mindset of giving stuff away for free when you know you've spent so much money on it. And it's just one of those things that you have to change the way you think. You have to change kind of how your mind works, because there's no point in getting rid of all of your stuff if you're just going to go back out and buy it all again. So if you want to live a minimal lifestyle, you have to rethink your purchases. So and I say that even though I've released a whole bunch of hauls lately, but in my case and in my defense, that is part of my work. So basically anything planner related, markers, pens, planners, journals, all of that stuff is related to what I do for my business, and it's my passion. It's the one thing I like. So for instance, I had paint by numbers and cross stitches, and I had tons of wool to make dishcloths. All of that stuff is gone because I no longer enjoy that. I no longer work on that stuff. I do, however, I had kept all of my pencil crayons and my paint, like all of my acrylic paints, all of my my easels and stuff like that. So and stuff that I know that I want to keep and want to work on, that's the stuff I decided to keep. So I was really minimal. I was really picking and choosing like the stuff I was for sure going to keep, and the stuff I was like, nope, you know what, you can go. And so I just feel really good. I feel like I've changed my mindset a little bit about keeping stuff and the value of it and what it means now. Because honestly, do you want to pass down all of the stuff from your childhood down to your kids? Probably not. So I'm just really super, super happy that I was able to part with it and just kind of let it go. So Yeah, declutter and minimize, keep everything in its spot. So as I go through my home, I'm going to pick one thing, one spot, even if it's only one thing, like one area of my home once a week. If I can do more, that's a benefit, but minimal amount will be at least once a week. I'm hopeful that we get our stuff cleaned up and then we stay organized. So living in a household with, let's see, 4 other family members, it's very difficult, right? We've got 3 kids, I've got my husband, and we don't have our shelves labeled. We don't have stuff labeled. So really, because I am a stay-at-home mom, I also work from home and have a full-time business, but I do stay at home with my kids. So it's really up to me to make sure that things are in their place and that I go into the pantry once a week or maybe once every day and just quickly reorganize stuff, maybe clean the floor in there. Like just kind of make sure that when you go to use something, it gets put back right away. And that's going to be probably a big thing to get used to. It's probably going to be a challenge at first, but once you start doing it, it should come easier as you go. Okay, working on weekends, not going to do it, or at least try not to do it. Saying yes to listening to the birds, reading and lounging on my chair and potentially suntanning, doing my health check-in every day, and drinking more water. That's like the number one thing for health-wise I really need to start working on. Okay, so moving over to these 2 pages. Sorry guys, I'm holding my baby on my lap and he is getting a little cranky pants. Here's a baby foot. A baby foot. Okay, so I really don't focus on the brainstorming section because this is just where I write all my ideas down. So we'll just talk about the tending list here. So priority is minimization. It's kind of been a journey. I've really been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years, I'd say, going through everything. And I'm just so happy about the basement because honestly, it was the mindset getting into that took about 2 years for me to really stabilize myself and be like, you know what, it's useless. I haven't been playing with the stuff down there, haven't let my kids play with it, I haven't looked at it. What is the point? Like it's different if you're looking at pictures or trying to keep like books that you want to keep. I did keep a few books, but for the most part I did so well. So anyway, it's springtime, so that's encouraging words because spring and summer are my favorite months. Absolutely in love with the season. So for my monthly action items, we're looking at my immunization for my son. It's also important for us to get a weight check for him. Our last doctor visit at the stollery, it didn't go as well as we'd anticipated. Our son has cystic fibrosis, and so it is hard for him to gain weight. He currently is taking enzymes. And so for a baby, I mean, obviously, when you bring a newborn home, it's really difficult already. You get lack of sleep, you have to listen to the crying. And if you have other kids at home, it's also really difficult. So to do the enzymes, it's almost like an additional thing that you have to do that you wouldn't normally do with a regular baby. And so while we've been doing it and everything's been good, the doctors say that it's not always, like it's not an exact science. It's sometimes hit or miss, and sometimes it doesn't really work. I mean, it's hard to, like he'll never have normal bowel function. It's just always going to be and so basically like cystic fibrosis babies or people, they don't digest their food at all. Like it does not get digested. They have terrible smell. This is too much information. I apologize if this offends anybody, but they have terrible smelling bathroom experiences. And I know with my baby, like it does not smell like normal baby poo. Like it's not normal. Like you can tell that there's something wrong. And so unfortunately, he's going to have to live with this all his life, and so do we. And we have to figure out stuff now to try to prepare him for the future, right? So anyway, we've been struggling with this, and it's the weight gain apparently for cystic fibrosis is very, very difficult. They cannot keep on weight. And so he was supposed to gain about an average of 0.20 grams a day or 0.15, and he gained like 0.5 under that. So he's not doing as well as we'd hoped, especially in this important stage of growth when babies need to gain all of the weight, their neurons are developing, you need to have that supply. And it's not that I don't have a good milk supply, I do. And we have been substituting with formula, but he's just not gaining as much weight as he needs to. So it's a little scary. But anyway, so I went into a tangent there. But we have to get his weight checked at the same time when we go for his appointment. So I have to do my April budget recap. So I always do that on the first of the new month because I have all of my numbers and all of my stats. So I will be doing that. And I believe that video will be posted like on the 2nd. So the 2nd or the 3rd, I believe. Okay, then following that, I've got my April analytics. That's strictly for my business. So for analytics, that includes my financials for my business. It includes my statistics for my YouTube channels and for my website and my Medium program. And then it also includes my analytics. So what I like to do is go in, take a look at my YouTube channel, see how they're doing, see how I can improve, and I write down the top videos that people are liking and enjoying so that I can create more content like that. So it's actually quite time consuming, and I like to do it thoroughly. So it takes a good couple of hours. Then for my June goal planning, again, same thing as what we're doing now, but for next month, my June Franklin setup, which takes a long time. And then for yard maintenance and rototill. So yard maintenance, I'm talking like mowing the grass, picking up the dog poop like constantly because I do have 2 small dogs and they tend to go to the bathroom a lot. You'd be surprised. Picking up the garbage that flies into our yard. So here it's actually quite windy. And actually this morning I just went outside and I picked up tons of garbage from our front yard. We are across from a school, and then down the street there is a junior high school, and that's where all the garbage comes from. It's really sad, but it all blows into our yard and collects along one of our bushes that we have. So it's really frustrating, but there's nothing that I can do about it except to go out there and pick it all up. So doing that is like an ongoing thing, at least once a week, I think. Rototilling, my husband will only have to do once or twice, but I'm probably going to get him to do that next weekend to start. Spring planting and flowers. So I really have to plan out what I'm going to do. I am on a budget. I think I've got 160 to work with right now. So I'm going to figure out what I want to do there. I won't be doing any vegetable planting this year because just too much time and I don't want to waste the water. So I think I'll just do some hanging baskets potentially. Red Deer trip on May long weekend. So I do need to contact my son's grandpa for that and just kind of confirm with him that that's okay. We'll probably leave Saturday morning and then come home on Monday. June content and budget setup. So I did put that as a separate thing only because I actually posted the reel today for my content planning. I've been enjoying doing that as a reel and a short on YouTube. And so I think I'll do that again next month. It's kind of a nice way to get some content on Instagram. And then the last thing for the monthly action items is to declutter and minimize and go to Goodwill. So even if I go to Goodwill once a week until everything is cleaned up and in its spot, I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good goal, and especially for everything that we have. I'm going to continue going through my containers in the basement, go through them all again and just say, you know what, I really don't need this. What am I keeping it for? And do it again. Okay, and now it's just easier because everything is organized. So now moving on to weekly action items. The weekly and the daily don't really change that much because I've established such good routines with these items that I like to keep them as is. So for my Franklin planning, I added meal plans on there as well because I have been doing that in my planning system. So I use a Franklin COVEY binder. I use the classic size, and I use a lot of the inserts from them as well. But lately I switched the inserts out for the month of April, and I'm using Agendio, which is basically creating your own planner. And I've added meal plans in there. So I've been doing meal plans. I never used to, but that's because my husband now works from in town. And he used to work out of town and they would provide food at camp. And so now it's kind of an added expense. So I really have to do some meal prep. I have to do meal planning, figure out what's going to work with the kids. And it has been extra work for sure. And I don't really know if we've been saving money. I've been doing like a weekly budget recap and I really don't know if it's saving any money, but I think it's spending more money because my husband used to work and eat in camp all the time and the food was for free. The next thing I do is my budget. So obviously I take advantage of that and I do a video every week. That kind of allows me to have more content for my business, but it's also necessary for our home life because we need a budget. We need to save our money and put it where it's going to have the most benefit. Monday journaling and HD is human design. So it's something I haven't worked on yet. And tarot, which is my book for manifesting in tarot. It's kind of like this journaling thing that I haven't really started on, kind of like human design. I'll see if I can link both those books. You can buy them on Amazon. And Monday journaling is just, I usually do my tarot oracle every Monday. I also do journals for my kids. They're like a 5-year journal where I write 1 page per week, and I add pictures and stuff in there. And then I also do manifestation, gratitude, and affirmations. That's every Monday. And the reason why I do that on Monday is instead of going into like a full workday Monday where I'm stressed out and I'm not looking forward to it, I wanted to do something that I enjoyed and that didn't take too much time, and then I could just leisurely kind of make my way into the work week. And so that's why I planned it that way. Blog sticker design. So blogs I write on Tuesday, and then sticker design, like I said earlier, I do Wednesday. So that's like one of the bigger focuses. Last week I had to play catch up with my blog, so I ended up writing 3 blogs on the same day, and that was stressful because I used to come from a place when I would do 2 blogs every week, but right now I believe I'm scheduled up until the end of July, so I'm doing really, really well. But as long as I keep up with 1 blog a week, I'm good. And then sticker design on Wednesday, which I really need to do this week. Yard cleanup and pick up garbage. So that's kind of where I've scheduled that, maintaining the yard, maintaining all of the garbage pickup. So I'm going to check it off every week, and it's a place where I can be accountable for it. Date night and family night. So my mom usually watches our kids every second week. So we can go to karaoke. So hopefully next weekend that will be a thing. And then the nights that we are home, we watch a movie or we hang out with the kids and just kind of do some stuff. House minimize and organize. Again, it's kind of like an additional thing, but by that I mean just kind of tidying the house. And then for daily items, finally, we have expenses. And if I have expenses, I'll do them. And if I don't, I leave it blank. Percussions for my son who has CF. Journaling, school, which is kind of doing my son's work. So we focus on his writing, his reading, any homework or studying for tests that he has, and also his vocabulary. Reading, that's for me because I want to read at least once a day for at least 20 minutes a day. Health check-in, that's in my health planner, my Melody. Checking off my medication, how much water I drink, whether I've taken all of my pills on time, my inhaler, that kind of thing. And then the last thing is a 10-minute tidy. So I usually do this twice a day. My daughter is a whirlwind of activity and she leaves messes everywhere. So I want to do this at least once a day, even if it's right before bed or right before supper, just to kind of give myself some peace of mind at least once a day. So that is it for my May goals. I'm getting a cranky baby here, so I'm gonna have to go. But thank you guys so much for joining me and kind of doing this walkthrough of my May goals and a review of April. If you have any questions, like always, feel free to leave them down below. I'll answer them the best that I can. If you are new, I would love if you would consider subscribing. Click on that bell button to receive notifications when I upload new content. Give the video a like. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.